It's July 23rd, 2025. I am at Joel Pearl, thejoelpearl.com on Blue Sky, and it's time to get in the weeds. A wonderful Wednesday in the city of Toronto. It's nice and sunny. It's not too hot. It's going to get hotter, though. Yesterday was beautiful. I was outside almost all day. Jeremy Lambert is here. He never goes outside unless he contractually has to. Right? How you doing, pal?
Went outside yesterday. We put up badminton net for all the children. Played badminton yesterday, so I did get outside for a little bit yesterday. Can confirm. I had to remind these kids who the 7th grade badminton champion is. That would be me. I still got it even at my advanced age.
We can be as advanced as you'd like, pal. You're my advanced age. I don't know what that means, but you know, this is what we are. I mean, you know, that weird is kind of what our brand is.
Yeah.
I mean, weird and being honest about things that are good and bad without anyone telling me otherwise.
Oh. Are you in trouble?
No, not at all. I'm saying that the other morning show we tend to talk about are out here telling you how great everything is in the worlds of their operations, and I'm sitting here being like, no, it isn't. No, it isn't. Nothing's great. Everything's bad. I'm trying not to turn into Pawlowski because I will never steal that bit. He is the master of that bit. He will be the sour man forever. Yeah, he is. He's the sour guy. I can never be as sour as Pawlowski. I can appreciate it. It's not possible. The man finds a way every time. He's like Debbie Downer from Mad TV, but he's not the downer.
He's like energetic.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
He's not a full downer because he's so energetic and passionate about how much he hates everything. Rules. Love Pawlowski.
I call myself an equal opportunity hater, but he takes it to a new level every time. He just does. Yeah, like King Potato saying, Pawlowski hates everything, and that's why I like him. I aspire to that level of hate. Joyful hater, that's a pretty good way to put it, Grace. I think I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. Speaking of Mad TV and other comedy, I went down a rabbit hole lately of Will Forte interviews. Not that really anyone pays that much attention to Will Forte, I guess. Have you ever heard the story about his SNL tryout? You probably haven't.
No, I mean, I'm familiar with Will Forte. I like Will Forte.
Yeah, MacGruber, you know, WWE legend MacGruber.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna do the bit because it's his bit and he tells it on various stories. But I do encourage you to go take a look at the Will Forte SNL tryout story that he has because it's absolutely hilarious. It's about him doing a bit that he does at Groundlings and like Lauren's there to watch it, and just it's so preposterous and so funny that it's like it's the only thing that kept me alive yesterday. It's on my Blue Sky, so you can find it there. It was very funny. He tells it to Amy Poehler. I've seen him tell it to other people, but Amy's really good at playing up with it, so she gets how to like make the bit a little bit funnier. So yeah, Will Forte is fantastic. Shout out to MacGruber.
He's great, and I stopped watching it because it just dragged on for too long, but it was good while it lasted. Last Man on Earth.
Oh yeah,
it was called. Yeah, it was on Fox. That was good. That was good for a while, and then lasted too long. He has voices on like Bob's Burgers as well. We're a big Bob's Burgers household, so yeah, we like Will Forte. He's very good.
One of the better ones out there. Let me tell you, an original groundling, not like that Chris Jericho. We'll tell anyone who has ever been associated with the Groundlings at any point that he was an honorary groundling. He really does.
Miss Chris Jericho. Can't wait for him to be back on television. Maybe tonight. Maybe tonight is the night that Chris Jericho will be back on television.
So I was listening to the latest Talk is Jericho from Friday because it was Rudy Sarzo, who's a bassist. He was Ozzy's bass player for the longest time. So tying literally everything together. I watched listened to the Rudy Sarzo interview, and I love Rudy because he's such an eclectic human being. And so he and Jericho are talking about Rudy's upbringing and in music and working with Ozzy and working with Sharon Osbourne as well, and getting to participate as one of the like house band members for the show that they did a couple of weeks ago for Ozzy, the final show, the Back to the Beginning show. And as I'm listening to Rudy, and this again, I'm listening yesterday morning after I took my kid to school and like I'm going off to do my work, I'm just listening. and he's talking about, you know, the story of going back to the beginning and like Ozzy working with Ozzy, and I'm thinking to myself, Ozzy's done everything he needed to do. If he's anything like most stories I have of people who die, it's like they do the last thing and then they say, well, that's it for me, I don't need to keep going. And I was like, Ozzy could probably be done now. And then like 3 hours later, Ozzy was dead. And I was thinking to myself, oh, okay, well, that sucks. I make a joke out of it because Ozzy was sick with Parkinson's, and you could see it. You could see that it was a matter of time for Ozzy. But also, I say this with like the most love and respect. He absolutely had the best going out party he could ever have. He had the moment. He had the biggest show on his home turf with his original band and everyone around him that has been in love with his music and him as a person for 30, 40, 50 years. Ozzy Osbourne had one of the best send-offs available to you in music. And for him to and he by all accounts was a completely different person on stage that night in terms of his health and his just the way he presented than like he had been in a while. You could tell that he was going to put literally everything into it, and he did. And then when I heard that he passed, and I was like, well, there's no better time. Going off on a high. He said it himself in interviews that he never wants to be mourned. He said, put me in the ground right away, celebrate my life. And I think that's the most important thing that we should think about when it comes to Ozzy Osbourne is the man had an incredible catalog of music, had an incredible love for the work that he did, was at one point mistreated by people in the industry because of his problems, because of his issues with drugs and alcohol. But at the end of the day, it made him Ozzy. And Ozzy was one of a kind. And Ozzy was not for everyone, but he certainly had something that related to everyone. The man was always the scariest looking, but also the kindest. The crosses weren't a joke. They were all, it's funny because he says, it's like, we were never Satanists. We were just a bunch of hippies. We were the last of the peace and love bands. We just happened to, play music that was in a minor key. And for that, people just mistook what Black Sabbath was. But no, Ozzy was deeply Christian, very, very devout in his faith in his own ways. And I've always found it interesting. Ozzy was a different man on stage than he was in public, but not in a way that was like problematic, So I just want to, put it out there. Ozzy Osbourne, God bless that man. He absolutely did everything you could in the rock and roll game and went out on top in a way that most people can only dream of having. Good for you, Oz.
I grew up listening to a lot of Black Sabbath and Ozzy through my father, and then I grew up watching the Osbournes, which I feel like was it could be completely misremembered, like that was the first like major reality show that really took off and became a thing and led to so many other reality shows that now the entire world is reality television and it's all mud wrestling. And that got quite weird at times because it felt almost invasive of the Osbourne family, and it felt like Ozzy didn't always want to be there, and it felt like he was, in some regard, you mentioned being taken advantage of. Like that show sometimes felt like it was taking advantage of him and who he was. But then I think he grew to like it until he decided that he didn't like it anymore. And then a lot of things spiraled with that family, and then his Jack and what's the Kelly. Yeah. Oh, things kind of spiraled with that. But I just remember watching it, just being fascinated that, this is Ozzy Osbourne in 2000. I think this is when that show was airing, like the early 2000s, when all I'd heard about Ozzy Osbourne was this, crazy rock and roll legend and all these stories that I knew of rock stars. and everything. I remember watching it with my dad, and my dad wouldn't watch it because he's like, I don't want my perception of Ozzy to be ruined. Like I like my Ozzy as rocker on stage. Like that's who I know. Like I don't want this kind of a little bumbling, and it just kind of, they made fun of him for it on the show. You couldn't understand what he said with everything. And I was like, yeah, I don't want to watch this version of Ozzy Osbourne. But I enjoyed the show for what it was, knowing what reality television was and certainly became. And Black Sabbath is some metal music that doesn't completely turn me off to things. There's not complete screamo music or anything like that. I like the guy was a WWE Hall of Famer. The guest hosting thing, I don't remember too much of what he actually did. I'm sure that was a Sharon call, but Ozzy clearly liked wrestling to some extent. He's involved in WrestleMania 2.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's been on and off wrestling for, 30 years.
So, I mean, like, some of his persona was complete pro wrestling, like straight out of the book of pro wrestling. But yeah, Ozzy was clearly a wrestling fan to some extent, being involved in various ways. WWE clearly has a lot of love and respect for Ozzy. They posted some very nice tributes to him. They did one on NXT last night. He went into the Hall of Fame a few years ago. So I was just working yesterday and just came across the newsfeed. I was like, oh, shit, that sucks. And then told my wife about it. She was like, oh, well, I'm glad he got his last concert. He went into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame last year as a solo artist, but couldn't perform because he just wasn't in any condition to perform. So I'm glad he was able to perform at the final show a few weeks ago. And from the little clips that I have seen, I'm sure we'll probably go back and definitely rewatch it now. But it seems like he gave all that he could given his health issues and his age. So I'm glad he got to do that. And it's one of those things of sometimes you got to do one last thing before you're ready to go. And you're like, all right, I did that. I'm good. Let me head up.
And you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. And that's why I kind of look at it and I'm just like, I see it in a positive light, because he found that one last goal to achieve. And he was like, well, I don't need to deal with Parkinson's anymore. Let's go. I'm done. And it sucks to leave a family behind, but his kids are grown. He has grandkids, and it's going to be rough for them. But I think they've known for a while that this was incoming. I think about it in certain ways to the way that my dad passed, where it was like we got to a point where it just felt like he was ready to go, and that was it. So I saw it. I've experienced it. So I empathize with not only Ozzy but the family as well. He did that one last crazy amazing thing, and then he was like, great, that's it. I called it a career. I said I'm not coming back. If he stuck around, what was he going to do? Wasn't going to do any on-camera stuff for a guy who spent 60 years on camera. This guy was going to fade off into obscurity, but he didn't want to do it. Did it his way. That's all. But just an incredible life in a lot of ways. He lived every bit of it for 74 years. The dude was just unimaginably popular in a time coming up when the internet wasn't around. As I saw Volov in the chat talk about the bat incident. People talk about the biting the head off a bat. So Rudy tells the story in that Talk Is Jericho interview. It's the last story he tells, and I don't know if it's been fully explained before. I know that people have kind of danced around it, but the way that Rudy had told the story was they were in, I think it was Des Moines. They were on tour in the States, and people had a penchant for throwing things or bringing things to shows, and sometimes they would, if they brought a cow's head, a sacrificial cow head from the butcher that they picked up, then security would be like, no, leave that out here. And apparently the roadies would take a photo of it sitting outside in the snow, because it's not allowed in, but they got to put it somewhere, so they put it out there. So one night they're on stage, and someone throws this furry ball onto the stage, okay? And nobody knows what it is. They just see a furry ball sitting there. And Rudy who at this point had been told by Sharon, like, this is how you play bass for Black Sabbath. You don't move. You're very stoic. Every member of the band is just rooted in place, and this is their box, and this is where they perform. It's very doom sludge. Like, that was the metal of their time at the British scene. And so he points his headstock on his bass down to kind of draw attention to it to Ozzy. Ozzy grabs the bat, and according to Rudy, he takes the bite of the bat and it puts it down. And then they finish the show. And apparently it's late in the show when he does this. But apparently at that point they load Ozzy into an ambulance. Like he's fine. He's getting into an ambulance with them. And Rudy goes to Sharon. Is like, what's going on? Or he goes to whoever. And they say Ozzy thought it was a toy bat. He thought whatever that was plastic, and then he bit into it and he was like, oh shit. And then they had to go to the hospital. They had to go to the Emerge to get him checked out for rabies. So apparently from there he's like in the hospital getting rabies shots, and then while they were on tour for the rest of the time he had to keep getting rabies shots. So this was ongoing for Ozzy for that tour, and that's why the story is kind of stuck with people, because it's such an incredible story. But it was at a time when like it was kayfabe. It was absolutely kayfabe. Nobody knew what the reality was, and people were like, Rudy tells the story about kids coming to shows and asking at meet and greets, like, where's the goat? Where are the goats that you're going to sacrifice back here? And Rudy being like, kid, I got to tell you, there are no goats. We don't do sacrifices. Rudy's like, I read my Bible in my bunk after the show. It was like, that was it. But incredible, just again a life well lived. And I think Jericho's really good at interviews when he's doing musicians and people. Honestly, anyone who's not wrestling, I think Jericho does really good interviews, and I've said this before.
And I only listen to his wrestling interviews, and I think he's like fine as a wrestling interviewer, because he has the respect of a lot of wrestlers. He can ask certain questions that a lot of people won't ask, and I think Jericho overall is a good interviewer. Yeah,
he has a journalistic background. Like, he legitimately went to school for communications, and yeah, again, that's Jericho. But I like his interviews when he's not doing wrestlers. I think at one point there was something. I think he did a Talk as Jericho with Lance and Dawn. This was years ago, and one of them pointed out how much he just sucks at interviewing wrestlers. It may have been Dawn in the conversation on Jericho's show, was like, the problem is, maybe it was Lance being like, you suck at talking to wrestlers because you don't care about the wrestling, you care about the entertainment. No, it's very funny.
Fair. Now, I don't mind Jericho as a wrestling interviewer. Yeah, I think it's a comfortability thing that wrestlers feel they can like talk with Jericho and it be fine, and they know like the platform is what it is. So that's why I think like he's fine at it. Like, maybe if he wasn't Chris Jericho, I would feel differently, but then the interviews would be different if he wasn't Chris Jericho. So I don't mind Jericho. He doesn't do wrestling interviews anymore. It's the problem.
And watch, now it's going to be tomorrow you're going to get a wrestling interview. Yeah. That's just what it is. Last time I said that, he had like Kevin Knight the next day, and I was like, well, he's back. I don't know. He doesn't need to do wrestler interviews because he's not backstage at AEW until tonight. Yeah. When he comes back and takes out Wheeler Yuta and replaces him in the match against Hangman Adam Page.
We know who's returning tonight in Chicago. The biggest AEW Chicago star. We're getting ready to ejaculate tonight, folks.
The bus is back, baby. Yeah. The jack off bus, because they can't call it the other thing. That's it's copyright infringement. talk to Sheamus and Drew about that one. I know they've commented on it. Oh, we're almost 20 minutes in, so go ahead, leave a thumbs up. This is what you get here. We go off on tangents. Let's get the pyro and the ballyhoo. More of that than anyone else. There it is. Oh, we got double pyro this week, making up for other people's misdeeds. So go ahead, leave a thumbs up on the video, and of course, subscribe to us here at Fightful Overbooked. Share the video, share the link with people. Let them know that this is a show we do Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern. We're here every day, and it's not just wrestling. We talk about everything. So go ahead. We are the ones, not the ones, but we are the ones you want to listen to here in the wrestling space, because this is a damn good show, and we are unabashedly honest, and we know that when our time comes to be co-opted, we will do it honestly, and we will do it without merit.
I'm waiting for you know, I don't know if you watched this show yesterday, Joel.
I did not. Was busy.
Coward.
Yeah.
Our pal, our good friend Cole Radrick was on. He has the SpongeBob Shaw in a month, literally a month from today.
Hell yeah.
August 23rd. I'm going to be there, most likely. I pitched my ideas to him. I want to be a SpongeBob consultant on the show, and he seemed interested. I think I can parlay this into an actual non-paying wrestling gig where I'm the SpongeBob consultant on the show, getting in my SpongeBob spots, and then I'm going to build that from there, because people will see all the great SpongeBob spots and they'll be like, oh, who put that together? I put that together. And they'll be like, oh, you know what? Maybe we should let this guy run his own show. And then I'm going to run my own show, and it's going to be fantastic. And then like, maybe we should let this guy run his own promotion. And that is how I will get Ring of Hallucinations, through doing SpongeBob consulting at the SpongeBob Shaw.
Cole's a great contact to have. He's got connections in, those higher up places as you move. Could happen. It will happen. We'll all be jacking it with Jeremy.
It's gonna happen, folks. It's going to happen. I will get Ring of Hallucinations. By this time next year, TNA will be number 2, and I will have Ring of Hallucinations.
They dropped a number 2 last night on NXT. I don't even know if I want to get to that. Oh, by the way, donate a super chat. Any amount, get your question or statement read on the air. It supports us and the creators that are a part of this channel. So go ahead. Give us your money, would you? I say that with love. So NXT was awful last night.
You didn't like it? I thought it was one of the best shows of all time.
It was a special kind of awful.
I thought it was fantastic.
Of all the road shows they've done, this is the worst one they've had. And they've done a handful of road shows. I'm talking like the recent ones, the ones that they've brought out since they came out of the PC, full time. The silver and black. This is the worst one they've done. It sucks.
You're telling me the show didn't the show that started with Booker T calling Blake Monroe Monica Monroe didn't have the greatest entertainment value in the world? Did you see
the
I did an
article, the reason why?
Yeah. I did the article. I saw Monica Monroe respond. I was like, you know what? That actually explains it. I'm not going to give Booker T a pass.
No, on his neck forever.
But that actually explains why he said Monica Monroe. It would have been far, far worse if he just said Monica Monroe and everyone's like, who? I mean, everyone still kind of said, who is Monica Monroe? But at least she is a wrestler. And not only a wrestler who is one half of the women's tag team champions at Booker T's Reality of Wrestling. So I give him all right. Okay. I get it. For mixing up the names, because he's probably around Monica Monroe a lot, and he clearly had a different person on his mind. Still hilarious. That man did not know what was going on as he's walking through the backstage area and then getting in front of the crowd. He had no idea where he was, what he was supposed to do. It ruled. It's so funny.
He's walking. I noticed in his back pocket he's got his phone. I'm just like, that man was reading his lines on his phone right up until they had him walk out through the curtain. He may as well have been walking out with his phone, being like, "Who's ready for NXT?" Featuring, what does that say? Ethan Page. Really, Ethan Page? Like, let him just read the stupid phone on his way out. But yeah, Monica Monroe. Thank God it's someone he knows. Thank God it's someone who's in his program. Oh, God. So that's how we started. We didn't have to start this way, Jeremy. But it got worse as time went on. Some people are saying they thought it was a good episode. Great. Hey, listen, if you liked it, good on you. Good on you. Oh, where do I even start? Jesus Christ. JC Jane comes out with her 2 belts. Honestly, this is probably the high point of the show. And effectively says, I'm a beatable champion, aren't I? And then everyone's like, well, yeah, but then she gets interrupted by Lash Legend and Jada Parker. And this was something that I had pointed out, by the way, when it comes to JC Jane and Masha. Like, there were more people going after JC Jane than there were going after Masha for their respective titles. So like, I understood why JC won, because the only person going after Masha was Ash by Elegance, who had won a battle royal, and like they never really knew why they did it. Because all of a sudden, like, JC's got Jada Parker, Lash Legend, Blake Monroe, Jordan Grace, like a who's who of the women's gallery coming after her. So I'm like, of course it makes sense that she's got both titles. She's the beatable champion, so everyone wants her. Masha's the unbeatable at the time champion, so like, who would want to go after that? So they kind of they teased JC Jane as a babyface in a really weird way in my eyes. With they did the get 'em girls, and then the girls were like, no. And then she ended up going after the girls, like, on her own. I'm like, why are you going after two women on your own? Like, that is a babyface thing to do, with hopes that your backup is going to back you up. I'm like, are they starting not a fatal influence babyface turn? But I still maintain JC Jane is going to come out of this as a babyface. When this is done, when she loses those two titles, I think they're going to turn her babyface, and I think it'll be, like I've said, and others in the chat have said, Blake Monroe is going to get the members of Fatal Influence.
Well, she's going to lose those titles very quickly, because she's the most beatable champion in all of wrestling. So
yeah, but she keeps beating people.
Well, they got a beatable last division, clearly.
People saying premature stage collapse made it a good episode. I felt so bad for Ricky. Oh God. Ricky's having a match with what's his name? Jasper Troy.
Yeah.
And they're doing a spot out by the stage, and Ricky's sitting on the stage, which is supposed to, I guess there was a spot where he was supposed to get either powerbombed or slammed into it, but the stage prematurely collapses. And you can see the referee, if you watch as it happens, he's trying to communicate to the back, and then he sees the fall, and you see him mouth the F-bomb. You just see him go like, and then they go back. And like, shout out to Jasper Troy for like knowing to just do something on the fly, hits a senton, and like, that's good enough. But I felt bad for Ricky. He just got mowed over in that whole scenario. It sucked for the stage to collapse, and that's it. They didn't even fix it. They didn't even try. Thank God they had those big caution tapes up. Otherwise, Undertaker probably would have marched his ass right through it.
Yeah. It was a rough episode in the best way possible. Hilarious episode, all things considered. Absolutely hilarious.
We'll get to Taker and Trick in a minute. Two things I want to bring up before we get there. One is little, one is bigger, and it's going to probably kill me. Bully Ray inserting himself into another story is like peak, what are we doing here? It's peak, well, my other friends are here, so I may as well take part too. Bully is now telling both members of North Quarter Catch Crew to have another match, and then the winner gets what they want. And I'm sitting here like, why are you shoehorning yourself into everything? Go away. Your former tag team partner has already had to clean up one mess in an interview. Thank God for that Chris Van Vliet interview we'll talk about in a few minutes with Devon Dudley. But he comes out here and he's like, you got to work together. And then meanwhile, at the same time that he's saying that, I think you had dropped the article, House of Glory announced it's going to be Bully Ray versus Zilla Fatu for Zilla's Crown Point Championship at House of Glory. And I'm like, I am going to scream. What is this 2025 Bully's back rhetoric? What is this bullshit?
I mean, he was there because all the LFG coaches were there. So
that's true. I guess Michelle McCool was also on screen for whatever reason.
So like, I get why he showed up. I get why he was part of this segment. They just like putting these LFG coaches on screen. I don't know why. I don't get it. Like, all right, we're just gonna put their legends in their own ways. So let's have them on NXT TV. And they obviously use some LFG talent. Jasper Troy's getting a big push right now. Tyra May Steele has been de-pushed to Evolve. But I don't need to see these guys on television. I just don't. Bully Ray in No Quarter Catch Crew and talking down to Charlie Dempsey. Like, really, dude? Like, this is what we're doing with Bully Ray in Big 2025. But this isn't even the most egregious thing that a company's doing with Bully Ray. Like, at least he was just in a backstage segment for 30 seconds and we move on. You know, other companies are doing far worse things with Bully Ray. So I can't be super mad, but on the bar of things, it's like, all right, well, this is a way to use a legend on this show. Are there better ways? Probably. Could you just not do it at all? For sure. But this is the way they're gonna do it. Bully Ray bullying people in big 2025.
It's absurd. It's so like, yeah, because when I think of no quarter catch crew legends of catch wrestling, I think of Bully Ray.
Like, why?
Where is his phone? Where is
Regal's literally there?
Where is William Regal? Is it like, put him on an iPad again? I don't care. Put him back in this, and he should be like, son, you should know better. You should be giving your opportunities to your people. If you want to be a strong leader, you will let him out if he beats you fair and square. And they'll be like, yes, Dad. And Charlie, that's it. And Charlie just goes. Lets it happen.
Yeah, William Regal's literally there. Why isn't he doing something with this thing? You know, like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Why is Bully Ray doing anything with no quarter catch crew? I would have preferred. I mean, Lexis King was involved in the segment after that. Like, that would have been a better spot for Bully Ray. Like,
oh yeah, there's one thing I trust Bully Ray to do. Yeah. It's understand people with any sort of disability.
Well, he used to stutter at one point.
Oh God, I wish they had brought this. You could bring this all the way around.
Honestly, Lexis King, like, this is a terrible segment. But Lexis King, like, doing the bit he was doing with Miles Bourne, and like, I know you can hear, and then he comes with a Bully Ray. He's like, Bubba, can you understand me? And then if he gets slapped, like, fine, he gets slapped. Like, that's the bit. He's a dickhead heel. I'm for that. That's way better than Bully Ray acting like he has some type of ties to no quarter catch crew. Let him slap around the dickhead heel. I'm not going to be mad at that. Like, I'm not a Lexis King defender to where I'm like, oh, you got to protect Lexis King here. No, I don't care. He's a jerk off heel that should be slapped around, you know? Like, that would be so much better. This is why I should have the pencil.
This case, absolutely. Oh, since we're talking about Bully, we can come back to TNA. You want to talk about the Devon interview on Van Vliet?
It wasn't Van Vliet.
Devon did one on Van Vliet as well.
Yeah, that was before. That was before Slammiversary, though. So when he talked about, like, oh, I want one last match with the Hardys.
Yeah, he was like heavily kind of foreshadowing it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
that's the one
that was before Slammiversary. It was just happened to be released after Slammiversary. But then he did an interview that was after Slammiversary with A2D podcast. That was Agree to Disagree podcast, and was asked about Slammiversary. And he basically just said he's going to do it. It's going to be his last match. Like, this is the last time for sure. And, you know, he addressed health concerns, and he said, like, I'm good. My health is fine. There's no signs of a stroke. They said it left his body and can't re-enter. I'm not a medical scientist. I don't know how all that works, but sure, I'll take a wrestler's word for it.
I can't anymore. He started saying things at the top of the Van Vliet interview, and I was like, oh, we're going down a path that I don't want to start going down.
So he's like, you know, the stroke is gone, so it can't happen again. I don't think he said it can't happen again. He definitely said, like, it left my body and can't re-enter. Like, it can't enter my body. Like,
what? Can't re-enter? Yeah. What the?
I was like, hold on, let me get his exact quote.
Please do, because if his words included cannot re-enter, I have medical professionals to send his way. That is that's wild, this man. Wasn't his last match, buddy. Every match is his last match. Yes, Devon has been doing DDPY, and he says that is the reason that he has been getting better and he's been doing well. Yeah, my God.
Okay, so here's the Here's the quote. This is bar for bar what he said. Everybody. Did I have a stroke back in 2019? Yes. It was stress related. It had nothing to do with anything else. Were there some lingering effects from it? There was a little bit. Went to rehab and got rid of it. Got cleared. No signs of stroke anywhere in my body. A stroke will never go away, but when doctors take tests, they can still see that there was one. As far as entering my body again, as long as I take care of myself, no, it won't.
This is a pray the gay away conspiracy again. What do we do? I love this rare piece saying, nah, man, strokes are an invading force in your brain. They pass the blood-brain barrier, then they get bored and they leave. This doesn't make it better. I'm listening to him on CVV, and I know you got the interview from Agree to Disagree, and he's saying similar things, effectively saying, had a stroke, but I'm fine now. And I'm like, great, good to know that you're doing well. Good for you. I am glad that Devon is at a point in his life now where he feels healthier than he's felt in the last, 6 years. That's wonderful news. Whether or not he can go in the ring is a completely different story. And it's still something I don't want to see. And it's still something that I think is absurd. But what are we doing? Who's letting this happen? I can tell you who's letting it happen. But why are they letting this happen? This is so stupid and irresponsible. I don't care who it is.
What also rules about this interview is he's basically saying, I ain't doing shit in this match. I ain't bumping.
Amy, bro.
He's like, I'm going to go in that match and I'm going to be Devon, but I'm going to be smart. Is there any problem with me having to be able to do one more match? No, there isn't. All you guys sitting there, I would not put myself in jeopardy. He's talking about good back surgery. It's like, I spoke to Randy Orton, because I heard Orton had the same back surgery, and he said, Devon, if I take any bumps in the ring right now, it's very little. I don't do the old Randy anymore and take those risks because of what happened. He's like, the same thing here. He's literally saying, yeah, I ain't doing a bunch of bumps and stuff. I'm not gonna. Don't expect the old Devon just bumping around. They're gonna have a lot of walk and brawl, right? I don't think he's going to a table.
The old Devon didn't do a ton either, though.
Nah, he took some bumps.
Okay, 20 years ago, but let's go back to 10 years ago, Devon. Sure. Not much going on there either. Let's be honest.
Well, now 10 years later, you're really not going to get any bumps.
I love how he's like, I only want to work with the Hardys. Because the Hardys are the only ones who will bump from his time. That'll bump as hard as they want him to. And meanwhile, all he's going to do the tables thing, get the table spot. And the funniest thing is he's talking in the Van Vliet interview about doing the What's Up drop from Impact 1000. And he tells the story. It's like, I told them I wasn't going to do it. I said I wasn't going to do it. And Chris is like, yeah, but you did it. He's like, yeah, the adrenaline. I did it. And I didn't get hurt, and that's what's important, but I'm not going to do it again. That son of a bitch is going to do it again at Bound for Glory.
Yeah.
And he's going to, because the adrenaline will be there. He will have not done much else in the match, and that's it. He's going to steal Bully's Shake, Rattle, and Roll spot, the one that he stole from Road Dogg, the one that Road Dogg stole from Dusty. Everyone steals Shake, Rattle, and Roll. He's going to do that one. And other than that, I don't know what else I know what else Devon's going to do in this match.
Devon's got a bump so he can do the convulsing sell that he likes to do.
Oh, fuck. No. Can you remember who was the base and who was the drop for the 3D? Who lifted up and who did
usually
the
Devon
cutter?
Lifts.
Yeah?
Yeah,
and Bubba does a cutter?
Yeah.
Okay. I couldn't remember off the top of my head, that's all.
Yeah.
I mean, he could do that. He's just got to take a front bump in that case, I guess.
Maybe.
Or back bump. It would have to be a back bump.
Yeah, I don't
think
they're...
He talks about rolling around in the ring at his school and feeling fine when he takes a bump. Again, I don't trust Devon Dudley as far as I can throw him, and I can't throw him very far because he's a big man. He's a wrestler. He is a worker from that time period. He's not someone whose opinions and comments I trust about most of this stuff. I trust that he has stories about when he was in the ring. That's why his YouTube channel does so well. But other than that, nah, I ain't doing it.
It's gonna rule. I'm so excited for this match. This might be Taker Goldberg Saudi levels of greatness here. It really could be.
You'll be doing a worst of the weeds that week, that day, if they go ahead. The Monday after Bound for Glory, you might be doing a worse of the weeds with
Yeah,
that match.
it's possible. It's very possible. I'm so excited for it. It's gonna be
God,
it's gonna be fantastic.
this is a bad idea.
No, I disagree. Let them get their last match in, Joel. Why are you a hater?
People, because people have expiry dates on their careers. Ozzy did it right, man. He had one last shot, he hit it, and then he was gone. Literally a few weeks later, he did it right. He knew what he was doing. God damn. You know what the funniest part is? If Cope and Christian win the AEW tag titles between now and Bound for Glory, you just know the Dudleys are going to win the tag titles of Bound for Glory.
I mean, the Hardys already have them though, so it's like
doesn't matter. They got to find a way to give them to all three in the calendar year.
I don't think they're gonna win. Like when Devon says it's his last match.
So was Sting.
Yeah, but Sting at least had like a build and a run with everything. Devon's just doing one. It's the same with Goldberg. You're just doing one more match. It doesn't feel like you're gonna do one more match and then put the titles on them so you could just immediately vacate them when everyone knows that's the end. Again, Sting at least had a full-on run before getting the titles and then doing his last match. And Sting is, in a lot of ways, the exception to the rule. In a lot of ways.
Absolutely. But also, he is now a plot point, a point on the, on the graph.
Bully politicking to get like the tag team titles one more time is going to rule.
That's a Bound for Glory match that I can't wait to not see. Here's the other side of it too, is like, okay, as of right now, people are assuming that it's for the tag titles. I think it's fair to assume that it would be, but I mean, there's a chance that they take them off of the Hardys between now and then. But I don't think they will, for the record. But like, if they're not going to, then we have to deal with Hardys just fending off challengers until October. Till like late October, and I'm going to be sitting there. I don't even know if I'll be sitting there. I'll be keeping an eye on it and being like, this was all for this, just to get to this point. Okay, sure.
Here's what I need from Bully. Here's your sell, Bully. You're on LFG. You're sometimes on NXT. You got ties to NXT. That's your pitch. Tell them you can get these tag team titles. Oh, Santana's going to win the title Bound for Glory. JC just dropped. JC might be dropping the Knockouts title. We still need the TNA titles on NXT TV. Put these titles on me. I'll take them to NXT. You'll get them shown on NXT. You'll get them shown on LFG. And let me pick an LFG kid. What about Bully and Jasper Troy as the TNA champions? Because Devon's going to retire, but Bully's like, I got both titles. Let me pick my partner. Let me pick an NXT kid. Lift him up. Bring him up. And that's your new TNA tag team champions. That's how you got to pitch it, Bully. Because they clearly like having these titles on WWE and NXT television. They clearly want these titles there, and they're cool with NXT talent winning these titles. So pitch yourself as an NXT talent and get these titles on NXT. That is how you politic your way into these titles.
I hate it here so much. So much. I want to go home, Jeremy. I want to go home and enjoy wrestling again.
Why? TNA's going to challenge for an NXT title next week.
God aren't you damn it.
Yeah, BJ Ray. Oh, BJ Dudley.
BJ Dudley.
Bubba and BJ Dudley.
If they can somehow bring Spike in for a spot in that match, then like I will give it a little bit of a bump. But like right now, it's sitting at like, if I was ever a stars guy, this would be like at a negative whatever amount of stars is the maximum in my world. It would be the negative 10 stars or whatever.
Well, you haven't seen it yet. It could be good.
I know it's starting at a -9. It's starting at a -10 because like the amount that I want to see it is a -10.
Wow. It could be good. You don't know.
I don't expect it to be.
Let's an amazing show.
Ethan Page, or I'm now going to call him Lance Page or Ethan Storm. Pick your poison. Comes out, and I knew exactly what we were going to do. I knew exactly, and I was so ready for it. I love Ethan Page. Always have, always will. Will never ever not love him. Comes out and he's talking about the lineage of the North American Championship, which he has, and he's got the title on the table with the covers, and then he's covering the flags, and I'm like, oh, we really are okay. What is this? But at the same time, he starts talking about where everyone has been from and how he's the best and how he's Canadian, blah, blah, blah. And then he takes off the drapes one by one. He's got the Canadian flags. And I'm like, this is a babyface turn. This is a babyface turn. I don't care where you are. This is a babyface turn for Ethan Page. And then he pulls off the cover on the title belt. And I'm like, where can I buy one of these? Are these available on WWEshop.com? Because I need one right now. If you would like to purchase one for me and they're available on eShop, I will happily take your Canadian North American Championship. We're going to take a look right now, just while I'm here. WWEshop.com. It better be there, I swear to God. My microphone is in the way of my keyboard. This has to be fixed. North American Championship. You think they have it? They've got the Saul one that's being bid on.
I don't think they do. Honestly.
I don't. This is very upsetting.
So
They've got the women's replica.
I don't think I've seen it.
They better get it up there. They better get it up there right meow. I just saw the Roman Reigns tribal belt again.
Bully them into getting it up there, Joel.
I will. I'm gonna find Ethan Page. We're gonna have a nice conversation about it, and we're gonna make sure that that it makes it. Because I can't live in a world where there are 2 Triple H WWE title commemorative belts and 0 Canadian North American Championship belts.
Wow. I think you're gonna have to live in that world because
I think I will too. Oh, there's a third one. There's a third Triple H belt. Why am I shocked? I'm not. Is there a fourth one? There's like a ton of the Cena ones, but that's kind of expected because you know
Cena
doing his thing.
Last ride.
Oh my God. So he comes out and does this Canada gimmick, which is like hilarious. And I'm really, honestly, I am excited to hear Lance Storm's take on it because Lance is also still with TNA. Like Lance is still a TNA producer, which makes this even funnier. So he's got the Canadian National Championship, the Canadian North American title. And then all of a sudden out comes Santino Marella.
Yeah,
who you and I talked about this on Monday's show. I said, like, Santino's coming to address the title situation. In my eyes, I'm like, what, is he setting up matches for the show that they have in 2 weeks and they have an Impact Live on Thursday? Like, is this what we're doing? Are we trying to build something for Thursday? No, it's Santino taking matters into his own hands in something he never does, and that is challenge for the North American. They're giving Santino a title shot based on the fact that he's an Italian Canadian, and he's not serious. Why are these old ass you know what's getting title shots on NXT? I cannot believe this. I cannot expect to enjoy this. Who is this for? Who is this for? Who? His daughter? There's no reason for this to exist.
Rules. What do you mean there's no reason for it to exist? Santino saw that Trick and JC have major TNA titles. Instead of addressing that, he's like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take a major NXT title. And he decided that Ethan Page and the North American title was the major title that he was going to take. It's fantastic. What about Macklin? He's wrestling on the pre-show.
He didn't eat the pin.
It's not Santino, not the director of authority.
I was thinking to myself, like, what about Macklin? When I'm sitting there, I was like, nah, he's probably pitching, and they're just like, nah, go F yourself, Macklin. Like, don't bother. It's so absurd. Now they're gonna bring out Tommy Dreamer next. He's gonna challenge for the TNA title.
Right, look, Santino's gonna lose. Not that he's gonna win this title. You want him to send Macklin so he can lose? And it's like, oh, look, LOL, TNA lost again. Santino's just a comedy dude who can get there, get his ass beat. That be that. I'm fine with it.
Someone's saying they're going to defend TNA. It's, it's our top weedy right now. You can still get your XP points in. See if you can win that competition. See if Brian Alvarez will say nice things about you in a cameo if you win. Saying Ethan Page is going to win, so why bother sending another TNA wrestler just to job to next week? Send Hometown Man. I don't care. Sending Santino was sending the wrong message. That's the problem. From a storyline and storytelling standpoint, the guy who almost never does something like this suddenly did this and made himself look stupid at the same time. There should be wrestlers on TNA, like, I'll use Frankie as an example, Frankie Kazarian, because he is the kind of guy who'd say this, who should be like, I'm going to the top of TNA, like I'm going to Carlos Silva and like asking him why you got to call your own shot. You're not an active wrestler on a roster. Why do you get to do this? You overstepped your boundary. There should be wrestlers in the TNA story. I'm talking story, kayfabe. There should be wrestlers at TNA who are very upset that Santino went and basically got himself a title match. And I hope that they do something with that on Thursday, because if they don't, we're going to be sitting there again being like, what is this doing? Other than getting Santino a spot on the TV show.
Well, it's getting Santino a spot on the TV show. The best part.
He should have brought Eric Young in, by the way. I thought for a second they would bring Eric Young because he's like, things are going to change. Like, that would be fun. Ethan Page and Eric Young, let's go.
The best part is Santino was supposed to address, like Trick and JC, and instead he just showed up to give himself a title shot. That
was the thing. Like, what creative changed between now and Tuesday that brought Santino in to mouth off to Ethan Page and get a title match? Like, where are we? SP3 in the chat saying NXT had Taker, Santino, Michelle McCool, and Bully. Had to check the calendar, make sure it wasn't 2008. That's the problem. It's all these old asses getting like prime TV time on NXT. Not that like NXT is like the prime show, but like it's an important show because WWE has told you it's an important show, as important as it could be. And they're giving you these. It's just so stupid.
It's great. What do you mean? It's absolutely fantastic.
But and so the thing is, people are like, Santino's going to lose, and then someone's going to come and save him. But maybe they won't. That's the other side of it. There hasn't been much of that, other than like what they're going to say. Is Mike Santana going to come out and go after Ethan Page? Sure, but he's not going to then get a title match against Ethan Page because that would be stupid. That would be the. You want to know what they should do?
What should they
amazing? Do? Sorry, looking at messages. What they should do is have, I can't believe I'm going to say this, Joe Hendry come out and have Hendry win the North American title. He's going to cross over anyway, and it's only a matter of time. Why not start that process now like they did with Jordan? Not that she went, like when she was going after the NXT women's title and she hadn't had it yet. Why not have the title go, the North American title goes to Joe Hendry. And then at the end, Joe Hendry, like, I don't know. This is the other issue, by the way, with the NXT TNA stuff. You and I talked about it. Inevitably, one of the promotions becomes the heel promotion, but like neither promotion is the heel promotion because TNA fans are pissed off at TNA and NXT, and NXT fans are fine with NXT despite them being the heels having taken the TNA titles. So like this whole the perception war is completely off kilter. But like if Joe comes in and like beats up, save Santino and then gets the match against Ethan Page, you could do that. It just doesn't. That's the best idea I've got for you right now, because they're not exactly giving you much to believe in, other than Joe Hendry.
I think that Santino should win this North American Canadian title, and he should hold it for a year or so. Take it to AAA, have it with Mr. Guana, to bring it to TNA, show it off on TNA, and then you just retire the title. He holds it for a whole year, then he's like, I've proved my point. The TNA is better. Just retire the title. That's it. Have Santino win, and then retire the title.
Seems bad. Just retire the title. Give him the Sol Ruka belt.
That's a cool looking title.
It's a beautiful belt. She hand painted that thing. I'm all about it. Yeah. Oh man, 10 Ruza such a super chat saying loved the incredible Ozzy and Malcolm Jamal Warner. Yes, absolutely. We lost Malcolm Jamal Warner the day before. Very, very sad situation. Never want to hear that. You never want to hear it. The guy was young, he's in his 50s. He continues, said, saw Black Sabbath live. Cosby Show was good. Awkward, I know. Here on my birthday. Love to you guys. Hey, happy birthday, 10 Ruza.
Happy birthday, 10 Ruza.
Hopefully it's a fantastic one.
Oh, I think that depends on AEW if Tenruz has a good birthday.
That's true. Now I suddenly hope that this is the worst episode of AEW ever. No, you know what? I need to feel good after Sunday and Monday. Monday's Raw wasn't much better. It just needs to be. I just need a good episode of AEW tonight, so I don't feel like I'm just shouting into the void about TNA. I've got people in my mentions, Carlos Silva telling people on a podcast that
that's rolled
fans, and he's like, I'm glad that people are talking about it, and I was like, they're not saying anything good, and people were just going off on me about that most of the talent from TNA, that they went home, or he said they all went to Rhode Island. Like, they didn't go put the talent up in Rhode Island for 4 days just to sit around. Like, there are a few on a media tour, that is for sure, but like they didn't put all of their people in Rhode Island. No, some people could have flown to Houston, done the NXT show, and then flown to Rhode Island to do the show on Thursday. Most of them have gone home. Stop it, these dorks. Carlos Silva telling people in interviews. It's great that people were talking about. Stop listening to Triple H. Stop listening to what Triple H has to say in press conferences.
Nah, this ruled that Carlos Silva was like, oh, people are talking about it. He's like, I was angry too. You saw my face. Like, yeah, you were like smiling and all giddy. Also, like, people took that one screenshot.
Dude, so I went back and I watched him giving JC Jane the titles. And like JC snatching it out of his hand, and he just starts smiling. I'm like, that has to be like a confusion. That has to be his reaction to when shit goes bad, is to just smile through it. Because like that's the only explanation I have, or he's just so excited to be in the show. Because I'm watching him, he's like presenting the titles to JC, just snatches them, and he's just like giddy schoolboy, and then walks away. And I'm like, what is this acting? It's not. It's reacting, and it's so bad. TNA paying for well, that's the thing. If they go to Houston, then they're gonna go on WWE's time for the show. NXT just wasn't a good show last night.
Nah, rolled so good.
And then we have
love.
Why?
We haven't even gotten to the best part of the show.
No,
yet.
We haven't. We haven't gotten to the best part. Oh, Tenruz, I hope you're having a wonderful birthday. I'm sorry you get to listen to NXT talk right now. The Undertaker. Well, it starts with Trick Williams. Trick Williams wearing whatever that was. I saw people mentioning like the hat was too small. No, the hat was perfect because of the way Trick wears his hair. Like, that was really what it comes down to. A bigger hat would have made it look really bad. Like, he wore it in the most fashionable way with his hair up, the way he always does. Sorry, fashion sense. Looks good. Always does. Trick always knows how to do it. He comes out and he does his thing, does his shtick, calls out the Undertaker. Undertaker comes out. I know people were like, him coming out. I see Ryan Lambert saying it was a choice to have him come out to the American Badass theme. That's all he wants to be now. He doesn't want to be Undertaker, gong and dun, 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 dun. They don't want the funeral march taker. He wants to be, thin blue line
That's
taker.
Dead. The Undertaker is dead. Like,
he wants 9-line God is dope Undertaker. He wants to be Mark from the South. And I don't know why something.
What was that?
I was trying to do Michelle McCool doing a Southern drawl, and then I realized it sounded like Borat. Regardless, Mark from the South. Instead, he comes out and he does this thing, and you could tell this was the funniest thing. And I know the Grapsody guys are going to mention this too if they talk about this segment. You could tell Taker was doing everything he could not to call Trick boy. Every time he addressed him, it's like he was like, don't call him boy. Trick, what you're not listen here, young man. I was like, you're trying. Anyway, they just walk around each other. They just tiptoe around each other. It's an LFG activation. He says, that's a nice belt. Meanwhile, he calls the other ones titles. And I'm like, I see this, Taker. I see what you're doing here.
Belt is what you use to hold up your pants.
That's right. And by the end of it, Trick Williams eats a choke slam, and the overselling is just through the roof. He looks like he shit his pants after he did it. Like, that's the way that the cell looked.
Yeah, it looked like he was trying to do like the fencing, which I don't recommend, when like you get a concussion, like it was
Oh
it was a
yeah.
weird sell. That I was like, I don't know about that sell. Like, we don't need to do like a fake concussion here. I think he just sold it the way he sold it. I don't think his intention was, oh, let me act like I got a concussion. I think that was just how he decided to sell it. But that's what it came off to me is I was like, oh, did he get a concussion? Because he's like fencing like he did.
I hope.
So
I think he was just playing.
yeah,
I hope he's just playing. He looked like he was just playing, but I get it. Like that is definitely the look. Maybe he was told, sell it like this. Maybe because Taker's a big MMA guy. Probably told him like try to sell it like this instead. Really get him going. And then afterwards he pulls him back and be like, nope, not like that. It was just awful. There was no reason for it. Oh, he was doing the Booker T face. That was Booker selling if he got chokeslammed by Taker. So that was something that happened for some reason.
this ruled.
I had someone in my mentions asking me if this means we're getting Trick versus Undertaker for the TNA title, and they were being serious about this.
No,
I did not answer that question.
no, we're not getting Undertaker doing anything with this. Dude, this is so funny what they think is like getting over or moments. I mean, this is a moment, sure, but they think this is like helpful. You know what I mean? Like they think this is like a good thing when they do this stuff for the talent. Just like Joe Hendry and Randy Orton. They think this is a good thing of like, oh look, the TNA title got on television, got on WrestleMania. The TNA champion got on WrestleMania. Doesn't matter that he lost in 3 minutes. He got on WrestleMania. Trick Williams was in a segment with The Undertaker. This is a big moment for TNA. This is fantastic. No, this sucks. This rules, but it sucks. Why is anybody, even if Trick wasn't the TNA champion, why is he just getting laid out by The Undertaker? That happened to Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker survived it because they had plans for Braun Breaker. But what good did it do Carmelo Hayes? He actually got raise your fist with The Undertaker. Like, what'd that do for Carmelo Hayes? These segments with these legends don't do anything for anybody unless you beat them up and you put them down and they're never seen again. Just like getting a pat on the back or getting beaten up by these people doesn't actually do anything for them because there's no come around from it. Carmelo Hayes doesn't reference his segment with The Undertaker. Braun Breaker doesn't even reference his segment with The Undertaker. It's just, that was a thing that happened. Let's try to move past it. And they clearly see enough in Braun Breaker that, yeah, they move past it. But for other guys, they don't see enough in. Is Javon Evans going to benefit in some big way from that closing shots? Like, you should go after the biggest dog. And now Javon's like, yeah, I should go after Obafemi. This is going to be great for me. Is The Undertaker going to get credit when Javon Evans wins the title? Probably not. It's not going to be a thing. It doesn't do anything, buddy.
It doesn't.
Oh,
no, I was gonna say I actually didn't hate Undertaker doing
that was fine.
It was because it was completely like within the confines of the story of going after the big guy in the yard, and that's Obafemi, right? It's all leading to Javon and Ova. So like they at least that made sense, but no, everything else that you're saying is 100% like on the nose.
Things like that are fine in the grand scheme of things. It's fine. A little backstage segment of like, hey, go after this guy. Okay, cool. That's harmless. The stuff that they do on screen where they try to like give people a rub because they're involved in a segment with a legend, like they don't have a good enough follow-up for most of this stuff for it to mean anything. That's the real problem, is the follow-up is typically nothing. Trick's now going to come back, and he's probably going to beat somebody next week or at the next pay-per-view. And we're just going to forget about The Undertaker thing, and we'll all move on, and we'll laugh at it like we're laughing at it today. Truthfully, the Undertaker should just be the TNA champion. And Trick's just carrying on the tradition of getting beat up by a 45-plus-year-old as the TNA champion. I gotta respect that. They're like, you're the TNA champion? Pick one of these old dudes who's gonna beat you up, because that's what happens to our TNA champions. Rules.
Where's
This
Jeff
segment,
Jarrett?
this segment was hilarious. Absolutely. Because you knew what was gonna happen. When it was Undertaker confronts Trick, it's like, oh, sorry, Trick. You ain't winning this one. You know, you did your good promo during the commercial break of Raw, and it was a good promo. No one saw it, but you did it. You did a great promo during commercial break of Raw, and now the Undertaker is gonna beat your ass, and you're just gonna have to act like that's fine, and you're still the TNA champion, and you're gonna move forward and defend TNA or something. Big TNA defender, Undertaker out here.
Yeah,
the TNA. You know what should happen on Impact on Thursday, since it's live?
What?
Undertaker is arriving to the arena, American Badass, and he's walking backstage. Everyone in that TNA locker room should come up to him and shake his hand. Thank you for taking out Trick Williams. Oh, thank you, Undertaker. Thank you for taking out Trick Williams. That's what I need. The whole TNA locker room. This is how they band together. They band together to rally around for the Undertaker and thank him for taking out Trick Williams. And then the Undertaker, he walks, he's got the line of the TNA wrestlers, and he walks by him, and it looks like he's going to the ring, but he's not really going to the ring. He stops at the top of the ramp before he gets to the ring, and he goes. And all the TNA wrestlers as well, they go.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
And that's the whole show. TNA just ends. Like, the company ends. That's not the show. Like, that's the final.
The press release goes up, literally, like, WWE announces purchase of Total Nonstop Action.
That's the end of TNA. That's the finale of TNA. The Undertaker has saved the company by putting it out of business, I guess.
TNA now stands for Taker Nonstop Action.
Yeah, there we go. That's it. This is why I should have the pencil. Come on.
Someone in the chat named Zach is saying some very nice things about what I've been defending TNA on, and I appreciate it. And I am reading the comments. I'm always reading the comments. I've said it very plainly, and I said it to Twitter. For anyone who's sitting there and saying like, but they're doing this business and they're working on a big rights deal as TNA and they're going to do all this. And the way I put it was like, a new rights deal built on talent that is not under contract to them is dishonest. And it's also showing a readiness to like dump on their fans and treat them as completely unimportant, which is ridiculous given that day one TNA fans are the ones who have ridden with them since the beginning. And TNA has seen the most shit happen to them. They have ridden with this company, some on, some off, some through it all. They have ridden with them through this for 23 years. And for TNA and for Anthem to so readily just like give up in this regard, to let WWE and play nice with WWE and be WWE's, little brother, for them to be okay with that sits very poorly with a lot of like TNA fans who just want to watch TNA because they watch TNA as an alternative to WWE after WCW shut down. It's similar to the way that people follow and care about AEW because it happened when there was no alternative in 2019 and so in 2018 when WWE was stale and stagnant. These TNA fans they were the ones who started feeling that way in modern era. This has been important for a lot of day one TNA fans to feel like their voices are still heard, to feel like their fan service is still being serviced, and to feel like they're not being just run over by WWE. When this started, I was optimistic, probably naively so, that there would be a little more give and take. It started off pretty okay, but whatever they're doing right now, to put it into a rights deal being the reason for making these choices makes zero sense. It doesn't make sense to look at it like this, But and I'll read this verbatim. I said, if the Cockroach brand TNA wants to sell itself as one of the ones playing nicest with WWE, that's their prerogative. But the thing that made TNA will die without acceptance. They can make millions on the back of something that isn't even theirs. And that's the problem. That's the major problem with this partnership. They could do so much more, but they're not getting anything out of it.
Can they do so much more?
That's a whole other conversation, man. This is the easiest thing that they think is going to make them profitable. And from a financial standpoint, yes, it will. It will make them profitable, but will it be either a long-term play or at least an opportunity to show some sort of image? No, TNA will have no image. The fans that flock to TNA and continue to go to TNA shows will not feel like TNA is TNA anymore. Like Gratz saying, it's a franchise agreement, and like there's a certain argument to saying that it's a partnership in so much that they share talent and there's no money exchanging hands in that regard. WWE talent or AEW, wow, not AEW, TNA talent that go to WWE are still paid for their appearances. I don't know, actually. The one question that's been very interested is someone asked about the Elijah injury and who covers the bill on that, because he's a contracted TNA wrestler who got injured in a WWE ring on a WWE show. So that's a question that's been asked to Sean, and I know that that's something that has been dug around for answers on, but that's part of the partnership that I'm interested in uncovering and discovering. Who's paying for what? But that's where we're at. Yeah. And I'm sorry, Terrence. I know that you're a TNA fan. They are the cockroach brand, and I say it to people in TNA as well. And we do it with love, because if a nuclear holocaust came tomorrow, the one thing, two things would survive: Twinkies and TNA. And you can survive on one of those things. Take a guess. King of the Mountain matches, by the way, is the answer.
It rules. It just rules, this partnership. What if they get a TV deal too? I hope they do. I hope they,
I want more money in wrestling to pay the wrestlers.
Yeah, I hope A&E or whoever gets the deal. Then is that when TNA is gonna start winning all their titles back and everything, and then WWE's gonna send even lesser talent to the show. At least they're sending, former TNA champion or former NXT champion, current NXT women's champion. They're sending some decent talent over there. Get ready for BJ Ray to show up on TNA when this TV deal comes through.
TNA BJ Ray.
The funniest thing about the fallout from Slammiversary is, and this is why I said the TNA locker room's got to line up and thank the Undertaker. People were like, we're now going to get the TNA invasion. This is going to be good. And they're going to rally around and they're going to go after Trick and JC. What happened? JC got confronted by 2 NXT talent, and Trick got confronted by a LFG coach. Where was your big TNA talent on this show? It was Santino giving himself a title shot. That was your big fallout from Slammiversary, and your TNA World Champion being held by an NXT talent. That was your fallout. All right.
What? Oh man, who's the TNA knockout that stands up to JC Jane? That's the other thing too, right? Because like Masha's the only one that they've built. They don't. It's not like Lang Lee, Xia Brookside. They're not there. You do it to Lang Lee, people are automatically going to jump at. Oh, here comes the former WWE girl. Failed WWE girl going to represent TNA, and it's like, I don't like that optic. Xia Brookside one is another one where they're like, oh, here comes former NXT UK girl. I don't know what's going to be. I don't know. It's Masha. It's probably Masha, who only has a few months left on her deal as of right now, unless she decides to re-sign with the company. So it's like, what? Same thing with Santana, for that matter. What's the point? What is the point? To put the titles on them for 3 more months or do a PPA while they still have the titles till they leave? Like, what's going on? Ash has a championship opportunity. Yes, she's probably going to get the match at the next special and lose. If she's smart, she cashes in. Fatal Influence and And the Elegance brand being on the same show is hilarious. There's no reason for it, but they'll probably do that. Yes.
Well, they should. You know who it's going to be.
Santina? They would do that.
Santina.
They
Yeah.
would do that. Tommy would be sitting back there, Tommy and Delirious being like, do you still have the sash and crown? And Santino just being like, I don't want to do this. And Tommy and Delirious being like, how much do you love this brand? And Santino's like, with all my heart, but I can't. It's 2025. And how much do you love this brand, Santino? I'll see if Ariana can get me fitted up. And that's it. That's the Knockouts Championship match.
That's who it is. Santina.
But I'm serious. Who else is going to go after the Knockouts title other than Masha Slamovich?
You know who it is.
Stop it.
What?
Oh, no, not her.
Yes.
Oh. But she's been suspended.
Oh, she's been suspended from TNA. This is how she gets back in.
They think this is going to make her a baby face? I laughed till I cry.
Get ready, folks. Get ready.
With Alicia Fox there too.
Just
at this point, I'd rather Santina.
Just throwing it out there, folks.
You're
just throwing it out
right.
there.
Oh, our pal Micah saying I was a TNA guy from 2004 till AJ left for New Japan. I thought it was pretty embarrassing when Dixie ran it and when Hogan was there, but this takes the cake. Too much talent there to let it be NXT TNA. It's just there's so many mitigating factors that create this problem for TNA. The annual contracts is one. The lack of money is another. They develop talent, but their top line talent can only stay for so long because they're looking for bigger opportunities and bigger deals. It's tough, but they have to spend the money. They have to invest in building the talent. That's why Leon Slater is great. Someone made a joke to me about like, Javon Evans is going to go after Leon Slater next. I'm like, I'd rather that. I'd love to see Javon Evans and Leon Slater go after each other because, like, A, that match would be fire. Second of all, at least it's two hungry 20-year-olds, 20 and 21-year-olds respectively, going after each other for a title and for brand supremacy at an age and a time where you can feasibly buy into them moving back and forth between the brands. That's cool to me. Right now in the main event picture, you have a bunch of guys who are like, I want to be in WWE. Or WWE has interest in me, and I'm at a point in my life where like I should take it. So I can get behind one, but I can't get behind the other. El Grande, not racist. Oh my God.
Javon's going after the big dog. He's not worried about Leon Slater. Leon Slater's a pup.
That's true. Oh, I like Javon. I think Javon and Oba is going to be a good match when they finally do it.
Yeah, I think Javon's the guy to beat Oba too. Yeah,
100%.
Yeah,
Tessa should become El Grande Americano. Ludwig Kaiser should just give her the uniform and be like, it's better for you, trust me.
That would actually be hilarious, but yeah.
Could you Tessa goes and works AAA after doing years with CMLL? That's the funniest part. Although their Lucha Blog and them have been like, if she goes to CMLL, that kind of messes up their partnership a lot, doesn't it? Because like they have no stake in CMLL, but Tessa could go there because she's not WWE, she's TNA. It's a really interesting situation with Tessa because yeah, she if they wanted, she can go work CMLL if they wanted her there, but I don't think they will.
Yeah, I don't think they will either. I don't know.
Send her to Mexico and don't let her come back.
I already told you how she's returning. She's gonna win that Knockouts title, and she's gonna be like, "See, you've got to let me back into TNA now." And Santino's gonna throw a huff and be like, "I can't believe this. Fine, you already
No. You can't give me shit for these accents. If
mine are terrible.
That is terrible. That's that's borderline racist towards Japanese people.
What, really? I'm not trying
It sounds like you were about to go Japanese racist there.
No.
I can't believe this. Like, no, we can't.
I wasn't doing that at all. I was doing a bad Italian accent.
You can't do it on the show. Doesn't work that way.
Right,
get ready for hometown woman. Can't be racist if you're in everyone's hometown. Anyway, yeah, I think you're right though. She can win it. As early as Heatwave? She wins it on the NXT PLE?
Yeah, let's do that. That'll go over well.
Oh man, that's so stupid. I love it. It's dumb enough that I would buy into it, and I would think it's the worst thing ever because it's stupid. Kylan King, I hope she's healthy and cleared soon. I need her back. Hilarious. God. Anything else happened on the show? They did the triple threat for the NXT title, and it was fine. Obafemi retained. That's all I got. The accents are all over the place today. They are. I did not sleep well, but at least I can tell you it's not good. Unlike Jeremy here, giving you Japanese Santino. Santino-san. Anyway. I was thinking about SummerSlam.
Sorry.
I know, right? Do you think SummerSlam would have been funny? Not funny. Would have been more accurate as Raw one night and SmackDown matches the other night? Because it looks like they're almost even this year. Whereas in the past, it's been like more matches from one brand than the other brand. You think that would have sold? One night is all SmackDown matches and one night is all the Raw matches?
No.
You can get away with it.
I mean, you can do it, but
you've got two big enough headlining matches,
right?
That you could.
Those will be the headliners.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. So if night one were Cena and Cody, and then below that you've got Jade and Tiffany. Is there anything bigger on the SmackDown side of things right now? I guess the steel cage match, if you want to go.
Well,
no, probably
SmackDown,
not.
Yeah, no, the steel cage match isn't. Now the SmackDown, I mean, Cody and Cena as the headliner is going to be enough to bring people in, sure. The Raw side just looks a whole lot stronger, though, because you got the Roman match, you got Punk, and you got the women's triple threat. That's three big matches. That's where you got to split the two. Like you got to have. Obviously, Punk and Gunther will probably headline night one. Cody and Cena will headline night two. I think you do the women's triple threat match on night two. You do the Roman match on night one. That's my guess.
I'm also thinking like the tag team championship match. Do you give that to night two, or do you give that to the SmackDown night? Because Charlotte and Alexa, and if they win, it's even bigger. I mean, you could argue that they're tipping the hat, but on the Raw side, you also have the triple threat for the Intercontinental Championship. Sorry, not triple threat, the one-on-one. Yeah. Bailey's going to be involved somehow, but
the Raw side is.
It seems more stacked.
Yeah, you can't. I don't think you could. What else is there on SmackDown? We just mentioned three matches. I guess the steel cage match. There's just a lot more on the Raw side.
Oh yeah, there's Dominic and AJ for the Intercontinental title. Yeah, it's also Raw. The Randy Orton match. That's SmackDown. Randy and Jelly Roll versus Drew and Logan. That I know people aren't necessarily like super into the tag team, but a lot of people are, and that's another one that like that's a big match for SmackDown.
Yeah, that is. I think that'll probably be night two, my guess.
Yeah, that's a big all-star tags. That's the Randy tag on one night, the Roman tag on the other night.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at the card. There's 9 matches so far. I feel like you'll get a couple more between now and then. Is the tag match not listed here, so that's 10 matches for what I'm looking at on Wikipedia.
Oh yeah, they just made the tag. I assume you're talking about the Roman match.
Yeah, they made it last night when Roman sent out the tweet.
And then they made it even more official because Paul Heyman accepted through TMZ this morning. So
sure, amazing how they get these things out there.
They like their mainstream attention.
Of course, whatever gets them more attention, more money. Yeah, Jelly Roll.
I mean, it does get attention.
Yeah, I'm not gonna take it away from them. They're getting looked at. But yeah, I was thinking about whether or not they could do a Raw one night, SmackDown the other night, because that's what the brand split was originally like. That's what it was going to be built on.
Well, it was for a while when they did, pay-per-views that brand themed pay-per-views.
Yes,
and
they did.
They stopped doing that because they stopped selling. But then it didn't matter how many pay-per-views they sold because they had the network. But the brand split doesn't matter. I mean, we just had SmackDown talent on Raw this week, and we're gonna have Raw talent on SmackDown this week. It doesn't matter.
No, I get it. It's also to me, it's like you don't do it with every show. Not every show is a 2-night show to begin with, but if you could make it so that WrestleMania is one night Raw, one night SmackDown, a 2-night event. If one night is for one show and one night's the other, like you could have found a way to make that a nice little incentive to make both shows special. Make the GMs have a little storyline. My show outsold your show or some shit. I don't know.
Nah, you don't need to call attention to like that. That's dumb.
Could have. Get a good show gets more money. More money means more talent. More talent means a better, stronger show.
You're just doing like 2K, playing GM mode here.
Why not? They got to sell the video game every season, so just give them a little extra year.
Look, I think they should be doing things like that as far as the brand split and trades and free agency and which company's doing or which brand is doing better. I've said that for the longest. They don't care to do any of that stuff, so I'm not going to entertain it like they do care.
Yeah, but it's still fun to think about.
Sure, but I've thought about this for years. I've talked about this for years. They do not care. They didn't even do a draft this year. Who knows if they will do a draft? There's been no real talk about doing a draft, so they don't care to do that kind of stuff. There's no actual brand warfare or anything like that. Nick Aldis misses SmackDown. Adam Pearce is just in charge and can still make matches the same way Aldis did. Nothing. There's no brand warfare. So I'm not going to pretend like there is.
They really have to stop crossing over the GMs for no reason. Someone has the week off, but someone needs to watch the children. It's probably my favorite part. Oh, man. But yeah, SummerSlam's quickly approaching. It's not this weekend, but next. Should we talk about Leila Hirsch?
Sure.
Fightful Select reported that WWE had put out some feelers, some interests in Leila Hirsch. However, what they were trying to offer was a potential tryout with WWE as a referee. We're told that Fightful Select was told some in WWE had heard about communication in mid-June, but haven't learned if it was accepted or if the tryout had already happened. It's rare that a wrestler would come in and be a referee and then maybe become a wrestler again. But Jessica Carr is a good example of this. She is a current WWE referee who is also working on Evolve as Calyx, in at least she did last year in 2025 or this year. We're still in 2025. Regardless, a lot of people thinking, a lot of people talking, potential of Leila Hirsch coming in as a referee for WWE.
It's a choice.
They did it to Thunder Rosa in the past. Someone pointing out Tasha Steelz as one who was potentially offered that position. I've always maintained you're offered the positions they have based on not always the talent, but sometimes just the what they're trying to fill, what spaces they're trying to fill in. And if that's what they thought about with Leila, then I mean, I don't know how I would feel. On one hand, it's money. On the other hand, is this what I want to do next in my career? But I'm not going to speak to what Leila Hirsch wants to do. She clearly enjoys wrestling. She clearly takes bookings. But I'm curious about whether or not this is something that she would want to do long term.
I don't know what her thoughts are on it. Maybe this is something she does want to do. Maybe she doesn't want to be a wrestler anymore. And hey, here's guaranteed money to be a referee. It's like, it feels a little insulting to offer her a referee spot when she is a very good pro wrestler. But like you said, they got certain positions that they want to fill, and referee is one of them. There's not a whole lot of room in the women's division right now. Like, the main roster's filled. NXT is largely filled. Send her to Evolve. Okay. I don't know how well that plays. I don't think and I hate saying this because it's not her fault, and she's still a great wrestler despite her size, but they look at her size and they're gonna be like, yeah, we don't see wrestler in her. She's too short to do that. We see referee in her. Again, they shouldn't do that. It's dumb that they think of things like that, but this is what we've learned from this company, that this is how they look at things. Yeah, so they offered her the referee spot. If she takes it, clearly she's fine with it, and more power to her if she's fine with it. And if she doesn't take it, then clearly she thought there are better plans and bigger plans for her elsewhere. TNA is probably a company that could use her because they need any help they can get in their women's division. She's a good wrestler. She wasn't given a full great shot in ROH, and when she did, she had good matches. But ROH is ROH. They do stuff until they don't do stuff. I don't know where her head's at on this kind of things, and if that's something she's interested in. I guess we'll see in a few months if she ends up taking it or doesn't taking it and is continuing to work independent dates.
I am curious about whether or not she has much to say about AEW these days. She hasn't tweeted anything even remotely related to AEW, but she has tweeted about the Evolution pay-per-view.
Why's she going to tweet about AEW?
I don't know, because I'm saying like she's promoted and like retweeted other people, other companies, but like there's no AEW. You know what I mean? She's balanced in that way. So I'm just curious about like whether or not there's anything there. Like she put over the Black Label show with Shotzi coming up in August. She's not like she's pushing shows that she's doing, but then like Abaddon, you know, when they said they were done with the AEW, like Leila Hirsch retweeted that one. Zoe Stark was injured. She replied to that one.
She hasn't tweeted since July 13th.
Yeah, that was 10 days ago.
Okay, and then when was her last tweet before that?
June 23rd. Hell yeah.
That was a month ago. So
she's less active, but I'm curious.
I think she's mainly tweeting like independent stuff. And then there was an injury to Zoe, so she decided to do the injury. Most of her tweets are like independent stuff. There's not a whole lot of I don't know what you're seeing here.
She just hates wrestling. I get it. She hates wrestling.
Okay.
People saying TNA would be a good spot for her. I've been saying the same when she announced that was it for her in AEW. But at the time, TNA had a little more going for them than they do now. So I don't know what that's going to look like for her if she comes in. But I don't know. It's totally up to her whether or not she wanted a position like that, working as a referee, or if she still wants to work as a wrestler. I'm not going to sit here and say what she should or shouldn't do. She should go wherever she's most comfortable.
Yeah. And I don't know what's out there for her. I don't think... Look, being a referee in WWE, I'm not saying this is a great gig, but maybe that's a way for her to just get in, and then maybe she can, much like Jessica Carr, do something and be a wrestler under a mask, and maybe she can impress, and maybe she can parlay that into something bigger. But being a referee is at least a foot in the door for her that she wouldn't get otherwise, because I don't think they clearly don't see her as a wrestler right now, and I think the size has something to do with that. And again, I think that's unfortunate, but if she can get in as a referee, maybe she can impress people as a referee and get other opportunities through that she probably just won't get as an independent wrestler, because they're probably not going to give her a look as an independent wrestler, because they're just going to look at her size, be like, yeah, she's too small.
But she's so good.
Okay, that doesn't mean anything to this company.
You never know. Sometimes they take the good versus the small. You never know. In the women's division, smaller could be better for them. They might enjoy the fact that someone so small could kick so much ass. They've always wanted their pit bull. They've got Ivy Nile. She's small.
Yeah, that's going well, huh?
She's on TV every week. I can give her that much.
I mean, she is, but when was the last time Ivy Nile won a match on TV?
Who cares? Wrestling is the matches don't matter. The outcomes don't matter. Carmella cracked that code years ago when she said wins and
Sure.
losses don't matter on WWE TV, and she was right.
The fact that they have Ivy Nile is worse because it's like they already have someone who's small and a good wrestler in that style. So they're gonna again look at Layla and be like, yeah, we don't need another Ivy Nile. We already have Ivy Nile.
Here we go. Ivy Nile defeated Maxine Dupree on the July
I'm not counting
14th.
main event. I'm not counting main event.
July 14th.
Actual television.
It's on TV.
Actual television.
It's on television.
Tell me when she won.
She defeated Zelina Vega in October.
All right, there you go.
But she's been on TV every week ever since.
Yeah, she has.
That's right.
Ivy Nile has a spot. I think Ivy Nile's good. I wish they'd do more with Ivy Nile, but they're not going to. She's in that mix with the Creeds. It's like, yeah, they'll probably be on TV. They might have some backstage segments. They might have a match, but they're just gonna end up losing. So, all right.
It's time. It's time to bring her in. Give her the next rub. She can be the next Ivy Nile. And Ivy could become the next Grande Americano. Give her the mask. You could do it. Look, if you're not going to take things seriously, then neither am I.
What?
Exactly.
Okay.
Make Ivy Nile a referee. Every women's wrestler under 5 foot has to be a referee now. That's how we should be seeing it. Where's Thea Hale? That's my question.
Don't do that. Do not do that to Thea Hale. Make her a referee.
No, but I'm asking where Thea Hale is because someone in the chat says I wish she was in TNA. She should be the one to beat JC Jane.
I've given up on Shawn Michaels doing the right thing with anything. He had a star in Thea Hale, and he doesn't know how to book stars.
She's got her doing bits on her Twitter account.
Yeah, people were worried. People were like, "Oh,
rightfully so." Typically, most people, when they announce that they've been released, get a little creative. This was very creative, so people were rightfully scared.
Yeah, she's just trying her best out there, trying to. She wrestled on the NXT live event like that night, so clearly she's fine. She's trying, man. Bless her. She's trying.
It's hard to be a grown-ass woman in NXT. Everyone's so young. She's just trying to be grown-ass. I get it. She's trying. She should be on every show, though. Just put her on Evolve. She should be the new general manager of NXT Evolve or whatever Evolve is.
Why GM? She should be wrestling.
Yeah, but I mean, we've noticed that you could just book yourself in a wrestling match. Doesn't matter. Santino did it. So she should just come in, be the GM of Evolve, kick Stevie Turner out, and be like, I'm going to face Kelly Armstrong tonight for the Evolve title, and I'm going to win. And everyone's going to be like, you can't book yourself to win. Be like, but I can. And that's good enough. And she wins it. Let be Kenya Americana. It's it. We found it.
Santino should. This is what I don't understand with these wrestlers and when they book their own matches. Book in your favor. Santino should make the rules in his favor for this North American title match. Again, do the gimmick of like you got to do a 50 count. I got a 1 count. I beat you. They're all dumb. All these wrestlers are dumb.
Well, that's true. I've been saying that for years. Even the ones who have pointed out the wrestlers are dumb are just as dumb as the wrestlers that they speak of. What else we got? We've got a Dynamite preview, but I feel like that's a little while away.
There's only 2 matches announced.
Oh, Christ. What are we doing, AEW?
They're going to have Sharks, though. It's Shark Week.
That's true.
So I hope they just bring out like real sharks. They should have the matches over a shark pit.
Shark Tank?
Yeah.
Every match should feature someone in a Shark Tank.
We should get like real sharks on it. Darby will do it. Darby should be like up in the rafters just chilling. He should like throw sharks down at the bad matches. That's what I would do if I was Darby.
Tonight, there's nobody in the arena. Nobody, no humans in the venue. Sharks. The audience is all sharks.
Yeah,
They're performing in an aquarium. Sharks surrounding everywhere. And Darby. Darby's in there for some reason. He's just in the tank full of sharks watching these wrestlers wrestle.
Let's see if there's going to be real sharks on the show. Hello, Tony Khan.
Probably a good idea.
Will there be real sharks on AEW Dynamite tonight?
Apparently the Aragon Ballroom, they're doing a deal where you can buy a 6-day ticket pack, get 10% off, and you get the same seat for all 6 days.
It's like season tickets.
I guess so.
Yeah, that makes
I
sense.
assume they're doing it at the 2300 arena.
I would assume so.
Should hope so. I hope they leave the doors open because it's going to be hot as hell. They got no AC in that building. Get ready for that, by the way, if you're in Philly. There's no AC at the 2300 arena unless they've suddenly put one on that rickety roof they have. Remove the ring, set up a shark tank and a skate ramp, have Darby jump the shark, and that's the whole show. Yeah. Who needs a match with Hangman Adam Page and Wheeler Yuta? Have Darby doing kickflips in a shark cage above the ring for the whole show.
Will Darby Allin be wrestling a shark tonight?
Didn't they already film some stuff? I assume that's going to be shown tonight.
Yeah, I think it's going to be shown tonight and then like the full episodes tomorrow.
Yeah.
Will there be actual sharks on the show?
That's the one I want.
Will Jack Perry return?
And will Jack Perry be? Will we be jacking off tonight?
Will the scape shark Jack Perry return?
They should just put a big scape shark on him.
All right, there. I've tweeted Tony. Let's see if we get an answer.
Call him Jungle Jaws Jack Perry.
Jungle Jaws. All right, I like
Jaws. Oh, Jim Ross will be happy for that one.
Poor Jim Ross. I hope he's doing well.
Yeah, well, listen, he was at All In, and everyone was excited to see him. He did what he
had
did.
A fall.
Yeah, he did. He did say that on the show. I'm not saying this to be callous. I'm not saying this to be mean. Unfortunately, that seems to be something with Jim that happens frequently. There seems to be a lot of falls. That's all. I hope he's well. I hope he's cared for. Yeah, it sucks when it happens. But yeah, there's only 2 matches announced for the show, like you said.
I wonder who's going to win those matches.
I don't know. Maybe we'll be seeing a new title, a new champion. But
I don't think the titles are on the line.
Matches.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe Billy's going to steal one. Maybe that's going to happen.
Cool, but yeah, I don't feel
well,
like
that's the thing, though. If Billy wins, then Tony Storm said maybe we'll just make it a triple threat. So maybe that's what they can do. I mean, I wouldn't hate that. It'd be fun. Tony losing it and having Billy Starks step in. Yeah, let's go. Tony, Athena, and Billy Starks.
I don't think it's going to happen.
I don't, but I think it'd be very funny.
What if Billy beats Tony, becomes a triple threat, Athena decides to put the ROH title on the line, and then Billy stacks them both, and Billy gets both the titles.
That's it. I said this before. You can do Billy wins. Billy ekes out a victory or sneaks in a victory tonight over Tony Storm. They do a triple threat. Billy and Athena somehow cancel each other out. That Tony beats Billy, and then somehow Billy and Athena start feuding again. And Billy goes after Athena for the Ring of Honor Women's Championship and finally wins it at Death Before Dishonor. And that's it. We finally did it.
I don't think that's going to happen.
Could happen, baby. Could be happening. Could be happening.
They see Billy as a good wrestler who is going to wrestle good. That's it.
They should see her for more than that, Jeremy. You know this.
I mean, I love Billy Starks, but that's what they see her as right now.
Seems bad. Tenders is saying, and Eddie Kingston return would bring back the feeling.
I feel like the feeling's back. Look, I want Eddie Kingston to return. Love Eddie Kingston, but I don't think the feeling is missing right now.
I mean, I think the feeling would be Malice, but that's fine. It's just people.
Remember Malice, TNA star Malice? Who was that?
I don't know. I'm thinking of the Malice in the Palace. What are you thinking of?
Oh,
But I do.
I just told you TNA star.
Thank you. I'm aware of who you're talking about. I just don't know who they were. Oh, it was the Wall, brother. No, it wasn't. Jerry Tuitt? Yeah, he was the Wall.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I knew it was somebody.
Yeah, he's dead.
Yeah,
we did this bit already.
Oh.
Literally 2 weeks ago, we did this bit. Right. We didn't do Malice, but yes, it would be Hate would be back on the menu in AEW.
Dude, Malice was cool.
If you say so. Tinder's also adding, and I want Jack Perry and Jay White back. That'd be aces. Or too sweet. Jack Perry, absolutely 100%. Jay White, I don't know if we're going to see him back anytime soon. Seems like whatever injury that is we're still waiting. Still waiting.
I don't know. Juice Robinson wants to be like serious wrestler now, so I don't know where he fits in. If they're going to do Bang Bang Gang stuff, because now Colton's hurt. So are we going to get... I mean, Juice cut his beard. So he clearly wants to do something different with his character. I don't know if you saw his interview.
As we get.
I don't know if you saw his interview with Renee.
Nope.
But he was talking about, do I want to be remembered as the guy who like fake pees on people and gyrates his hips? And he's like, no, the Geico caveman. He's like, no, like I want to be a serious wrestler. And so it's like, maybe I wasn't taking the business as seriously as I should be and as seriously as I will from here on out. I think we're going to get serious Juice. What that looks like, no idea. No idea if like Tony sees him as serious Juice and is going to establish him as such.
Is he going to change his name? Because Juice isn't exactly serious wrestler name. CJ? Are we going to go back to that? CJ Robinson? Call himself Joseph Robinson. Is his real name is Joseph. His government name.
Joe Robinson.
Joe Robinson.
Serious
sounds like
Joe Robinson.
Sounds like he's about to sock a few dingers out of Comiskey Field.
A serious Joe Robinson should be his name.
You're just a serious Joe.
He should align with Billy Gunn.
No, why?
Yeah. He beats the shit out of Anthony Bowens.
I'm telling you that it's going to be Billy Gunn. Billy's the opponent. It's going to be so bad.
Yeah, that's going to rule. But
is that Saturday? Is that Collision?
I think. I don't know.
I mean, they would have announced it if it was tonight's show.
Well, they haven't announced anything. So
well, just the two matches. But usually when they bring something up, they're pretty good at like putting it out there that it's happening. Let me see.
Maybe you could team with Bowens. Bowens is the 5-tool player, and Juice is Serious Joe.
Serious Joe. It's such an awful idea, but it's just good enough, which I guess would be good enough. Serious Joe.
The 5-tool Joes. 5-tool Joes over here.
Yeah, exactly. You're either going to get Taz or you're going to get like a bunch of wrestlers named Joe. Joe Hendry's going to show up in AEW instead.
That's not going to happen.
One of the Joes. But yeah, actually, so looking at Collision, they only have the Athena match announced.
Yeah,
Athena and Alex Windsor.
Yeah.
Average Joe Robinson. Just Joe Robinson.
It's just they try to do Just Joe.
Just Joe.
Yeah.
Bring it back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what serious Juice would look like. I mean, I don't know. I don't want him to be serious. I just want him to be Juice. Just Juice.
Yeah.
Bang Bang Juice.
I like that he wants to do something a little bit different. Like he could coast on being silly Juice and doing all the stuff he did. There's a role for him on that, but let him try to do something different. Let's see how it works. Maybe it won't work. We'll see.
Let it play out. Now you fans want to hear let it play out.
He's got to get on TV. He hasn't been on TV since returning, so he's got to actually be booked for something for us to let it play out.
Didn't he do a run-in last week or something? No, he did a Collision thing. He hasn't been in the ring.
Yeah,
but he did a Collision face thing. Like talk to the camera. You did that.
I missed that one in my highlight watching. My apologies.
It's fine. He yelled at the camera. That's basically what he did. He's going to be Serious Joe now. He's going to start every promo with, "If I could be serious for a minute." Everyone's ripping off Lance Storm this week.
Oh, he's confronted by Big Bill.
That's right, because they're doing that thing. Yeah,
Big Bill and Big Bill. That's actually a good team.
Big Bill and Medium Joe.
All right, I'm sold on this Juice and Anthony Bowen's team, but like they gotta, like, they're like possessed in that, like, they want to do, like, Bowens wants a scissor so bad. He's like, like, no, gotta hold back. And Juice wants to, like, pee so bad. He's like, no, can't do it. Like, the comedy's got to be pulled out of them. They're so used to just being comedy that that's what they want to revert to, and they can't until they do. And then when they do, they're the greatest tag team in the world. They beat the Hurt Syndicate.
What's the name of the team?
Five Tool Jones over here.
Yeah, Five Tool Jones over here. Jones Robinson is how he rebrands himself. Juice Jones.
Yeah, Juice is like still thinking he's Bang Bang Gang, and Bowens is still trying to scissor, and they just can't figure out that they got to get away from it because that's holding them back. Their love, their want to be loved, and their want to be comedy is holding them back until they finally turn into full-on serious people, and then they should squash the Hurt Syndicate on top of that.
I love this. They figure it out together.
Yeah, it's great.
Wait, do I have a thing for that? Nope, that's the no. So this one?
What?
Could be that one.
No, it's gonna work.
Is it this one? No. Is it this one? They figure it out together.
That kind of works. Okay.
That's what I meant to hit. Now I know. The pink one is.
You're never gonna play this sound again.
I'm never gonna play it. So let's just do it one more time so we know it exists. They figure it out together. Goes on longer than I thought it would. At least I don't have loop on. Anyway. Together.
Are you done figuring it out?
Together. That one was on you. I don't know why I think that's so funny.
I miss Orange Cassidy. Bonkers.
Me too. Yeah.
I hope he comes back soon.
Yeah, Orange Juice would have been the team. But the problem is Juice Robinson wants to be serious.
Yeah, you can't.
Orange Cassidy is serious when he needs to be. Yeah. Orange Cassidy, we need to teach Juice it's okay to be who you are. It's okay to be who you are. We can work together. Sorry. That just came up. We can work together. And
April, May, June Monroe over here.
We can work together and I can show you how to be serious while still being yourself. And that's it. April, May, June is still one of the best stupid bits we have. After School Special Jones over here. Anyway, Dynamite has those two matches that we didn't really talk about.
Yeah, it's Hangman and Yuta, and it's Tony Storm against Billy Starks. Two guesses as to who wins these matches.
Take that thing away from Joel. It's my soundboard. It's my Jeremy's seen it. It's my board.
Yeah, we still need to take it away from you. You don't use it very often, but now I feel like it's going to be a thing.
The problem is I can't program it with like a special like stuff that I want.
Oh,
because for some reason the app that works on it's the Rode Procaster. The Rodecaster board, and like the app that comes with it, like I can't transfer sounds onto this thing because it has its own memory bank, but it won't let me do it. It's very frustrating.
Yeah.
TNA did in fact break me. It's fine. Yeah, Hangman Adam Page, Wheeler Yuta. They're gonna have a Shark Week presented match. I still think this is leading to somewhere down the line, Page and Moxley in a rematch, but it's a dog collar match.
I see that. Yeah,
that's where I'm at, especially after Saturday. And Mox is very he the type of character where like when something gets him, it gets him hard, not literally.
Does it?
Well, listen, you can ask Renee, dear at Renee Paquette.
She might answer me honestly.
That's a problem. But anyway, this is where I wish I had the Ayo. What the? Yeah, I don't have that on my soundboard. Anyway, no, when something wrongs him, he fixates on it, and that's what the dog collar is, right? That's the thing that he tapped out to it. That's the thing that lost the title to him. So for him to fixate on wanting to use that as a device, which it has been throughout the entirety of the Hangman and Swerve and now Hangman and Moxley story, you can see a dog collar match coming out of this.
I could see a dog collar match coming out of this. I know whether or not it happens, we'll see. But I think that's a good idea. That's probably like a Dynamite special. Maybe they wait through Forbidden Door, but I don't know. I think Hangman's gonna face Tanahashi at Forbidden Door because Tanahashi's got to get his custom AEW World Title shot at Forbidden Door.
I thought I think they're just gonna do like the 12-man tag. Because remember was it Revolution when they all came out? It was like the conglomeration.
Sure, they don't care about that. That was months ago.
I know. Well, actually, no, they would do that. They would do that.
Nah, they're probably more likely to do that than Hangman Tanahashi. I was just joking about that. And maybe they do Hangman and Moxley in a dog collar match. Could see that. And what if MJF cashes in after the match?
Oh, that's right. MJF has the thing.
Yeah. Happy
MJF and Tanahashi have a history.
Oh, imagine Tanahashi beats Hangman for the title and then MJF cashes in right afterwards. That would rule. That would piss off so many people, so it would rule.
I mean, I'm all for it. I think, like I said, I think I would put Tana in a tag, but that's just me. I know that he's been, having singles matches in the G1, so clearly he's doing just fine. But I don't know. I don't know what he'll look like after Forbidden Door, or after the G1, I should say, because it's very closely afterwards. Isn't the story right now for Tana is that he wants 100 wins in the G1? Like that's kind of the story they seem to be telling. 100 G1 victories.
I'm not worried about the G1 Tana. Hopefully he could get out of the G1 in one piece, and then he should win the G1 so he can headline the Tokyo Dome.
Listen, brother, I'm not saying it shouldn't happen. It should be Tanahashi and Konosuke Takeshita. That's the match right there. Puts him over and has a big tear in his eye as he puts over the man known as Takeshita. And then Takeshita leaves the next day because he's under AEW contract as well and has to work.
Okay.
I don't know. Again, the build for Forbidden Door is challenging because of everything we're talking about with the G1. So they got to figure out a way. And Gabe Kidd is another piece that's kind of fallen. He's saying he's injured. Oh, they already did the 100 wins for Tana. Good for him. All right, now he's going to lose the rest of the matches. Instead, Gabe Kidd has been out for the last couple of matches, forfeiting. Right? Has anyone been talking about the idea that he's faking it? Has this been a thing?
No, because that's dumb.
It is dumb, but it's a Gabe Kidd type of thing to do.
No, it's not. This is not Gabe Kidd at all. What do you mean this is a Gabe Kidd type of thing?
Let him get pissed off and just take it out on everyone else afterwards because he's not the winner.
He would want to wrestle these matches.
Perfect.
That would be really stupid to fake this injury to do this G1. Stop it, Joel. Stop WWEing the G1 tournament.
Why? They're partners with WWE.
That's not true at all.
That's right.
The Rock's played Rubik's Cube, but
see? The Rock wearing t-shirts and Rubik's Cube, he's actually secretly booking New Japan. Gato gave him the book a long time ago, brother. Traded it for a book of Terramana. His story is to win the G1 so he can headline the Dome one last time and keep the title and his career going. That seems bad. Seems bad for the guy who is 100 years old. I'd personally like to start building new talent, but that's just me. Maybe Gabe Kidd for one.
Gabe Kidd is new talent.
I know. I've been saying if the story is that Tanahashi wants to do that, get the title and keep his career going. Yeah. That's a heel thing to do, and I don't know if Tanahashi is viewed as a heel. Yeah, I know he hasn't won the 100 matches. Someone had said it was something else. It was Takeshita and Tanahashi.
Tanahashi should still win the G1. What if Seth Rollins enters the G1?
There you go. Perfect.
And
that's
Gabe
what it is.
Kidd cashes in the Money in the Bank briefcase.
That's what it is. That's the partnership right there. That's the partnership right there. If there's one thing WWE knows, it's how to do a partnership. Everybody wins. Because they're working together. Let the record show I hit that right at the 2-hour mark of this episode.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah. Well, either way. We'll see what they did. If Gabe Kidd is able to come back sooner than later, just have him take over the Death Riders. He's the guy who takes out Jon Moxley. That's it.
No, it's Jack Perry.
It's Jack Perry. That's right. I have no Forbidden Door match predictions because I have no idea what they think they're going to do coming out of G1. Tomohiro Ishii. That's the answer. Yeah. In case of emergency, break Pitbull glass.
Gabe Kidd and Will Ospreay seem to make sense, but I don't know where things stand with Gabe Kidd with the injury. So maybe Ospreay and Zack Sabre, because that's a match Ospreay wants. Hangman and Moxley just running that back. I think they're going to build it more as an AEW pay-per-view than a New Japan pay-per-view.
I was going to say that's more of an all-out main event because they want to get real bloody with that.
I don't think they're going to hold off that long with that, though.
Maybe.
Well, was Swerve and Ospreay last year forbidden? They were two AEW contracted wrestlers wrestling in the Forbidden Door main event.
Wasn't the whole idea that Ospreay was still somewhat connected to New Japan despite being an AEW star?
I mean, sure, but he was still an AEW talent, so
that's fair.
Moxley's held the IWGP World Title more recently than Ospreay has, so I think New Japan, they're at where they're at with their guys. They don't have kind of top level stars that AEW is like, hey, these are the guys we want headlining our show against our guys. They're trying to get there with guys like Tsuji and Kid and Shota because Gato will never let that go, but they're not there. They don't have Okada, Naito, Tanahashi. They do have Tanahashi, but it's final year Tanahashi. They don't have those guys that it's like, oh, this is a big time match against our AEW talent. I mean, Tsuji and Darby's like cool. I don't know. That's just a match. I'm just throwing it out there. And like Dave Finlay and Hangman Page. It's got to be a guy that Hangman can beat. You don't really want him to beat Tsuji. You don't. I mean, if he beats Gabe Kidd, fine. Like Hangman and David Finlay, Hangman.
It's gonna be Hangman and Tana
all the time.
It's just gonna be Hangman and Tanahashi.
Like they just don't have. They just don't have those guys anymore. Darby and Hiromu. I mean, yeah, I like that match, but I just don't have those guys right now. And they'll get there at some point again, but that's why I think it's going to be a more AEW centric show. And yeah, you'll have New Japan talent and Stardom talent and CMLL talent, but I don't think they can build a pay-per-view, especially when the New Japan guys are doing G1. So you're only going to have a week, maybe 2 weeks to build some type of match. I don't think you're just going to have anything big. Like, honestly, Hangman and Takeshita is a match. I don't think that's going to be the match, but that's there. If you want to transition Hangman into a Don Callis family feud, and then Takeshita is like the final boss for everything, that Takeshita doesn't need to be there until the final week because Don Callis and everybody else can kind of carry things. Yeah, Mystico and MJF, maybe they end up going that route. That's a big match. I don't know if that's going to be it, though. That doesn't feel like a match that should be taking place in England.
It feels like a Mexico match.
Yeah.
It really does feel like a CMLL Arena Mexico match.
Yeah.
And Max would love that too. Because he would get the most heat possible.
Yeah. Hangman, Shota, Tanahashi, Shibata, Ospreay, Zack Sabre Jr. Those are all fine.
Cope and Christian reunite, take on Anderson and Gallows.
No.
Good Brothers versus Cope and Christian. You know, they'd love that.
In that match.
Christian once again gets the short end of the stick. They're pulling straws for that shit.
Yeah.
I'm all about it. That's fine. That's the match I want. All right, let's get out of here. You guys are back tomorrow. Yes. SB3 and Jeremy will talk about everything that transpires tonight on AEW Dynamite, and they'll probably talk about New Japan and the G1 updates, because that's what SB3 does. I only come in so I can clown on these ideas. And not even his, just general ideas about New Japan Pro Wrestling and what they are in 2025. TNA better, I guess. They don't have match of the year candidates like we do. They don't get JC versus Masha. They're going to do 3 of those. We've done 2 of them so far. They're tied 1 apiece. It's time for Masha to come in and win the match of the year candidates at Bound for Glory. That's what we're looking at. It's going to happen, baby. In the shadows of Boston, Lowell, Massachusetts.
Yeah, Carlos Silva being like, we're going just outside of Boston.
Yeah, just outside, 40 miles. Just drive down whatever the hell. Yeah. Oh, don't worry. We'll be watching Bound for Glory as a family. Anything you want to plug?
No, never.
Well, there you go. SB3 and Jeremy tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern. Jeremy and I again Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern, as we do all week. Go watch wrestling or don't. I don't care. Just do what you want to do. I'm not going to be asking Carlos Silva to be on any of our shows moving forward unless he decides he wants to.
Why?
If he wants to address these allegations, he can. That's up to him. Him and Tony Khan have open invites to this show. They know it. All they have to do is show up or ask for the link and then show up. One of them has the link. Try to guess which one.
True. Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty easy to figure out which one. For Jeremy, you know who I am. You know who he is because I just said it. Ladies and gentlemen, friends beyond the binary. We'll see you next one together.